welcome to the November edition of the J.D. Power Travel and Hospitality Podcast. I'm Sarah Baggett from the Marketing Department, joined as always with our subject matter experts, Michael Taylor, Azari Jones, and Andrea Stokes. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Michael, we're going to start with you. There's been some big news, lots of headlines about this, about the new automatic refunds for passengers. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is, and let's kind of dive into the implications?
Sure. This is a new rule out of the Department of Transportation that I think was introduced back in spring. I think it was April or something like that, where they first announced this. And I believe, to be a little bit cynical here, was also one of those things to, set the administration up with the voters for the upcoming election. But this is the first time it's been in effect during a holiday season. And basically what it says is airlines are now required to automatically give you a refund, given certain conditions that have been set by the DOT, not by the individual airlines. So I believe that the rule says that if you are delayed by 3 hours or more, and you don't want to take any other rebooking, you don't want to go on another flight, that the airline has to refund you your ticket purchase price in the manner in which you booked it. So if you did it with cash, they need to send you cash. If you did it by credit card, they have to credit your credit card and things like that. And also rolls over into baggage, mishandled baggage that's not delivered within 12 hours on a domestic flight or 30 hours on an international flight. Then they're supposed to refund you the price of the baggage itself or the price that you paid for a carriage of baggage. And, this is one of those things I believe the administration did sort of unilaterally, not with the cooperation of the airlines. And I just think it's a sort of a one-size-fits-all type of rule meant to, I believe, make the administration look a little bit more friendly towards people. I don't think it's going to have the effect that they expect it to have. I don't think it's going to increase anybody's satisfaction. I don't think this is really going to be something that is impactful as far as J.D. Power rankings go or people's overall general satisfaction, because these things actually rarely happen. Probably 95 to 96% of all flights go off without any kind of hitch whatsoever. Granted, there are late flights, and we define late flights as flights that arrive 15 minutes after their scheduled time of arrival. But the airlines for many years have been getting around that by simply inflating the flight time. And so a lot of times, I think half the time that I'm flying, I hear, well, we've arrived early. And that's simply because they know how long the flight times are. They just kind of padded it a little bit to make themselves look better on the on-time or OTP, on-time performance. So anyway, this is kind of a new rule. This is the first holiday season that's actually going to be in effect. And depending on the weather, which would be the big swing factor, the reason why I'm a little bit more on the side of the airlines here, there's so many things that can happen during a flight, some of which are not in your control at all. And sometimes when I'm having this conversation at cocktail parties, occasionally I go to a cocktail party, I tell people the same thing. They always look at me somewhat incredulously, which is the airlines want to be on time. They have a schedule to keep. That plane is going to go on another trip very shortly after it arrives at your airport. They don't want to be late. It causes them a great deal of headache as well. And every minute that an an aircraft stays on the ground, it's estimated to cost the airlines about $100 a minute. So, they're not interested they are interested in getting things off on time. And I think this is just sort of a unilateral rule that isn't going to have the intended effect. That's my bottom line on this particular topic.
$100 a minute is certainly means to get everyone in the air on time. So it's not necessarily going to be better for the customer. What are the financial implications for airlines? When, as you mentioned, these massive weather events, I feel like they could be really in a pickle here.
Yeah, I think that probably the biggest thing is when you have a software shortage or software issue, like we had with Southwest and some of the other major airlines. If you remember earlier this year, where some Microsoft upgrade went bad, and then all of a sudden you're stranding thousands and thousands of people. Now you automatically have to give them a refund. That's going to be cash going out of the airline. Of course, no one wants to actually do that. They want to be as accommodating as possible. And really, there is some friction. I mean, airlines are not altogether innocent in these things, but they do write the rules, for in their own favor. So There's enough competition out there that you can pick and choose, but you would have to read the fine print, which most, of course, passengers don't. So I think that really this is going to, when we have a major event, I think it will be something that adds to the outgoing cash flow of an airline. Granted, there's nothing going to stop the outgoing cash flow if you have a major meltdown like that software issue. But I think it's just going to add another 5 to 10 to 15% to that total, which, when you're talking about one day's worth of flights for an entire airline system, is a lot of money.
Definitely something for them to keep in mind. I know sometimes airports will take the brunt of customer ire when flights are canceled, even though it's not necessarily in the airport's control, but in the airline's control. Any concerns about this reflecting on the airports?
No, I don't think so. Because one of the things we probably heard, I mentioned this before. This is a phrase I coined a long time ago: the cocktail napkin effect. I don't know if anybody on this call remembers that. Um, but you paid your money to an airline, and if you're really upset with them, you pick up your cocktail napkin and say, "Gosh darn it, Delta! I paid you money, and I'm not getting to where I'm going on time." When it might be the FAA's fault for keeping your plane on the ground because of traffic patterns or weather that's moving through an area or something like that. So people tend to blame the airline for billing issues. But on the baggage side of things, about 30 to 40% of people think it's the airport's problem for the bag claim issues they might have every once in a while. About 50% feel it's the airline's issue, which it is. The airlines mostly run baggage handling at every airport. And then about 15-20% of people think it's both the airport and the airline itself. So, but on the billing side of things, you're paying your money to the airline. That's who you're going to get mad at when anything goes wrong, whether it's their fault or not.
Well, as we go into this busy travel season at the holidays, we will see how this goes. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate that insight. Azari, speaking of travel for the holiday season, we have been looking into some of the AI upgrades for rental cars and the rental car experience for customers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So, something that we're seeing coming is enhanced technology and customer service. We are seeing that a lot of the rental car brands are going to go to smart kiosks and apps to kind of help streamline that process to checking in. So, you're no longer waiting in a long line to watch the person in front of you review the contract. They should have reviewed early on or answer all those questions. So, we're going to see a lot of AI driven processes, probably even see biometrics, meaning you can upload your ID and all those great things ahead of time. That way, when you get to the counter, you can just get your keys, or maybe not even come to the counter, just meet your keys in the car and kind of go from there. So, those are the kind of enhancements we're probably going to see coming up in 2025 and beyond.
That's really exciting. I imagine that'll be a much more foolproof process. And, not waiting in line between 100 people trying to get home to see grandma, always a good thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, it goes two ways. Either you want a seamless experience when you use technology, or either when you have to interact with a human being, you want it to be just as seamless as well. So either way, the brands are definitely taking notice and taking all the strides to make it a great process, even for return as well. So we're hoping to see time cut down. It's all about getting the extra time back and getting people on their way to see their loved ones.
Well, very interesting. We'll certainly be keeping an eye on that this month and into the future. Andrea, we are talking a lot about holiday travel, and I know we've got some really exciting new data from a Polaris study about holiday travel trends coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, very excited that we were able to partner with some of our other colleagues outside of our travel practice on a study that they do every month of 4,000 consumers. So they run the survey every month, and they kind of look at consumers based on how consumers are feeling financially, and are they confident financially, or perhaps are they struggling, and sort of everything in between. But this survey does often ask about sort of discretionary purchases and what purchases folks are making. They did ask about holiday gift purchases and travel. So we have a little bit of a mixed results for the travel prediction for both kind of this upcoming Thanksgiving holiday and also the December holidays. And it does look like, fewer people this year plan to travel over the holiday season. It's, maybe down about 7 percentage points versus 2023. So we'll see if that, plays out. It seems like, younger consumers, where we say, perhaps under the age of 40, they seem, as willing to travel as they were last year, but it's older consumers that look like they're, maybe more of them are going to stay home this holiday season. So we'll see actually how that plays out. Obviously, we've heard airlines say that it's going to be a record record Thanksgiving travel. Of course, Thanksgiving is always a big travel holiday, but it remains to be seen. So yeah, but look for more of this holiday travel data to come out. We're going to be sending it out within the next day or two. So.
Very exciting. Lots to look forward to. I'll be very curious to see if these predictions for the holiday season hold up. We shall see. With that, I wanted to sort of touch on Travel Tuesday. Now, this is something that follows Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's called Travel Tuesday. It's kind of a new trend. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is, I want to say just within the past couple of years that more and more travel companies, right, started to kind of put out their deals, not so much to generate holiday travel, because at this point, holiday travel is pretty much baked in, I think, for a lot of people, but it's really to generate bookings for January, February, March. So the big spring travel season. So spring breaks, a lot of cruises and destinations sort of in warmer climates really do look at Travel Tuesday as a way to kind of start building up their bookings for the spring. So expect to see, I would say maybe not so many air travel deals, although we have seen some airlines already start to talk about Travel Tuesday and start to put out their communications about that. But I think cruises are really, really a big way for consumers to get really, really good deals. There's so many cruise lines out there. There are so many ships out there. They're going out every week, end on end to have cruises, especially to those warmer destinations. So there's a lot of cruise inventory out there, and the cruise lines really do look at Travel Tuesday as a way to really generate consumer interest in cruising, and a lot of the deals right around cruising kind of are really going to, I think, proliferate next Tuesday. It's already next week, a week from tomorrow. So, and of course, I think consumers can look for deals from hotel companies. Obviously, they're, hotels and resorts need to sort of start generating that springtime travel as well. So I think consumers will see some deals from some of the big hotel chains. Um, yeah, so I think it's growing. We'll see how this Travel Tuesday goes, but obviously it's successful for the travel companies because this is something that I think is a big deal for them, and they'll be kind of looking for this year, I think, as sort of a test of, hey, yes, this really has legs, and we'll continue to do this into the future.
Seems like everyone is dreaming of those warm weather vacations this time of year. Well, we will keep our eyes on that and see what the data tells us at the end of the season. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure speaking with you. And to our audience, we look forward to catching up with you again in December, where we will share our predictions for 2025. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month.